And we are live. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone's.
Everyone's.
Everyone's and everyone. We just want to welcome you to our coffee and chat with Sam and Janet.
That's what a good partner does right there. Yeah, I'm running behind, guys.
We both are.
Running behind big time.
You know what's really interesting is that time just really moves swiftly. We have been up since at least, you get up before me, but I know I've been up at least since 6. And, it's like we really do kind of hit the ground running. You start, doing all your setup for business. And then we have our coffee together and we talk about whatever it is that we talk about, in the morning.
Right.
And then we look up again and time has moved swiftly.
I'm like, it really goes by quick. It's like the morning, first part of the day just flies by, slows down kind of mid-afternoon, and it picks back up again in the afternoon for me. So welcome, guys, to Coffee and Chat. Today is Friday. I'm Sam G, and she is walking away. JCG, a.k.a. Janet G. Gonna be chatting you guys up this morning. Good morning, Rashad. Thanks again. I appreciate that. Go ahead and share the link, guys. I take full responsibility as the man of my domicile.
I had to close the door because there was an echo. I forgot to close the door.
Thank you so much. No, sensitive to those echoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, yeah, it's Friday. Don't forget about virtual happy hour is still going on. Do I need to create a link for that? I believe I do.
So much to do, so little time.
I gotta do my voice. I need to get Rashad to record this since he's the professional.
Live from the WGBS studios. Get your cup of coffee or get your shot of whiskey. It's time for Coffee Chat with Sam and Janet.
Oh, I just think that's so cool.
You want to be an announcer so bad, don't you?
Hey, we all can dream. Dreaming makes stuff happen. It really does. Good morning. Look who's up bright and early.
This girl, my neck, my back. Oops. Yeah, wrong show.
Yeah, that's the nighttime show. Nighttime show.
So is it working? I know you're going to Punta Cana real soon. You better get all your little kinks worked out.
Better rest up. So I want to say this real quick, JCG. Guys, the reason why, I'm going to say for me, the main reason, I'm going to speak for both of us. The main reason why we are so big on talking about our brothers and sisters who have small business, because we want to be a conduit to help their businesses grow. So I'm proud to announce that we're starting to get feedback. For those of you who have purchased, I'm going to mess it up, man. She got to tell me how to pronounce her name. Soraya. Anyway, the seasoning lady. Okay. Man, that pork chops was good yesterday, huh, babe?
Yeah, they were.
Pork chops are right on time, man. Anyway, I use her seasonings for those pork chops.
So tell the people, babe, because the way that we talk about food and the pictures that we show, but we always say, it's all keto.
All keto, like in the movie Sparta. This is keto.
I'm sure, because we're eating fried pork chops and whatever else we're eating. Tell them once again how we are able to have a lot of our favorite dishes and it be keto?
Okay, I will, Janet.
Especially the fried pork chops, since we did
Okay,
that
we'll
yesterday.
use the fried pork chops as an example. So, guys, here's something you might not know for us who, especially from the deep South, because we fry a lot of stuff, right? Or we have traditionally known to fry a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we use these oils that, we assume were great. All those vegetable oils, guys, were terrible for you. Google it, research it, right? So the oil that we use, since we're on keto, that's keto friendly, is not over processed. I was talking to somebody, Jan, I think you heard the conversation about this whole process and over process. Most people don't realize what processing is. So here, let me break that down real quick. Processing is, let's take up a natural product, take all the good stuff out of it, right? And you want to know an example of that is white rice. White rice is comes brown, right? And sugar. Sugar, natural sugar is a light tannish brownish color. So they take all the good stuff out of it, process it to make it cheaper, expanding the volume to make more money on that product, right? So those oils are terrible, guys, for us. The oils we used to, vegetable oils we used to cooking with. In other words, here's my keto strategy for frying. I use avocado oil, research the benefits on that. I use a flour it's called Carb Quick, which is a keto flour. And, I got tons of seasoning. This particular pork chops are fried with Soya's not a chef. I'm murdering this lady's name. The seasoning ladies, seasonings. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I'm able to do it. So I tweak recipes. The cheesecake, I tweaked it to make it keto.
Right.
Right?
So the point of the matter is that we are not limiting ourselves from not having some of the things that we really, really enjoy. Even the ice cream. We enjoy ice cream, and when I tell you, babe, when you decided to make that ice cream, I was just so, I say this often, my soul is just so happy.
I
My
mean, the
stomach
thing
is
about
getting.
looks like it's going to be a Food Friday discussion. The thing about making, you grew up like that, where you didn't eat all the stuff your mom cooked.
No,
The story she told me, but
no.
when a lot of us grew up with just more homemade foods and less processed food. For me, it was very little processed foods. Okay, so now getting back on that, or we've been back on that for a while, but what it does is take the ice cream, right? Guys, this lets you know how much crap is in it. And we eat the good ice cream supposedly. But when you're making that stuff fresh from home, 2, 3, 4 ingredients and not 18,000 ingredients on the label, there's a difference. And your body's like, hey, this is what I want. I don't want that other nonsense. Keep giving me this.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what my body says. But I want to get back to the fact how we're really, one of the main missions of this program is to celebrate and promote our brothers and sisters who have their own business. So we did the seasonings, and I'm happy to report that now we're getting feedback. You guys are actually supporting that business. There's people ordering from her. So I want to give, I got all my little sound effects. I got to use this stuff. I want to give, our listeners who are supporting these black businesses a round of applause, because that's what we want to do here, is support these black businesses, keep it up. And my reviews are legit. Trust me, guys. I have my reviews, but at the final say goes through Janet. If it ain't right, you gonna know. Okay. Now I'll know first, and I'll hear about it for at least 3 days. No.
I'll be like, I don't want that. This is this.
At least 3 days, I'll hear about it. Okay. So
And I
the
think
reviews are
that
legit.
maybe for me, in all of the time, that you've tried other people's things, maybe there's only been like one thing out of all the things that I really have like, oh yeah, I remember. It just came to me. I was like, I didn't like the presentation. I didn't like
Can you say what it was, or
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna
message
do
me?
that, but
Probably message me.
okay. All right. But I was like, never ever, just I knew I was gonna catch 15 cavities and
So
have high blood sugar for days.
that means it was sugar loaded. Okay. So anyway, thanks for that. We want to. That's what we want to do, and I know that business owner is oh yeah, I'm not going to mention that name either. That was true, and it was.
It's just too much.
I'm
It's
just
too
so
much.
open to try. If it's my people and they trying to do something big, you know me, I'm gonna support you, man. I'm gonna try your
Mhm.
food product. I'm gonna try your T-shirt. I'm gonna do all of that, right? Um, Janet doesn't do it at all. Um, but yeah, that particular one, I'm not going to say the name because we're not going to publicly. We're in our reviews. We're giving legitimate reviews on products, right? Especially the food. I'm not going to skimp on that. But we're not going to put anything that could potentially be seen as negative.
Right. And
Didn't I let that person know why I would not be purchasing again?
I don't know if you did or not.
I think I did.
I couldn't even talk because I'm like, why did you do it in the first place? But
I think I gave the constructive feedback
I don't even
on that
remember.
product.
I think that in each city, I know that here, New Orleans and Orlando specifically, that on Facebook they have like Facebook foodies group, right? And they have black business black businesses per your city, on social media.
Hmm.
I also think that people, if you have a small black business or whatever, it's about community and joining a collective to not only promote but see what's going on, in your area. One of the things about the Fayetteville foodies group here, the reviews on Facebook, there are things from the foodies group. We did come across places that we wanted to try, right?
Right, right,
And
right.
the places that we tried, for the most part, we have enjoyed. The thing that you have to be careful of in the face in your foodies groups or any of those things is when you say criticism, it needs to be constructive, criticism, something that's going to edify and not like, tear down. I say that, I use that term a lot, trying to edify. There's a way to get your point across
Mhm.
without totally annihilating, people or businesses, unless it's just god awful. So when I think about, the foodie group that we particularly follow, and when you're giving reviews, I want to know about the service. I want to know about the facility, like the cleanliness, and I want to know how the food tastes,
Mhm.
right? You don't need to, in my opinion, completely annihilate a business because, you had to wait 15 minutes. You don't need to annihilate a business because, they ran out of stuff. If they ran out of stuff, to me, that's a good thing, you know. And so you have to, when you're following, your businesses in your town, USA, just be kind of cognizant, give real, like real feedback on, those things that the masses would deem important, right?
Right. So, on that note, I'm going to give a shout out, promotion, however you want to call it, right, to one of my homeboys has a seasoning business as well, and I'm actually on my third round of his product. Comes in a nice. Well, the reason why I'm on the third round, I'm looking at, I'm saying, why haven't these been touched? Because where we are now, I can't have a grill.
Yeah, that's
Right,
true.
his seasonings I was using primarily when I was on the grill. So
Mhm.
the information there is in the description, guys. Is backyard chef, get it, backyard chef, aka us barbecuers, uh, spices and rubs. And the first one, well, I know what these taste like, but I guess I got to taste them, huh? Do I have to?
Well, you know,
This is his product. I already got it. Has some of these in, right?
you got
Nice.
to do it like this, babe.
Like
Hold
what?
it up so that so that the glare. Put your other hand.
What am I doing wrong? Like that.
Yeah.
It's still glare. It's still a glare. It's
That's
this
how they do it on
this
social media.
100,000,000 watt light you got in front of me. That's why my hair's so shiny. How about this? There we go.
Yeah.
I want to see the label because I like the labels that people come up with. I'll be liking the stuff you come up with. So there's a label. There's 3 versions of this. And actually, Janet, I don't know if you remember, this blend is specified for us because he made it keto.
Oh, I forgot.
All the 3 blends that he does, he tweaked it. And he will do that. So he'll specialize a little bit. So this is the spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the fact that both of these seasoning companies, the stuff is so fresh. I mean, I've had this for a while, but when I popped that open, just all the flavor and smell came out. So yeah, this is the spicy. I can smell the spicy in there. This stuff smells so good. It makes me want to do something on the grill. Maybe I'll do something with the lamb chops today with this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, babe, we like our lamb chops. I'm sorry. We like our lamb chops a particular type of way, right?
Right.
And it's like the thing that has worked the best for us in lamb chop is the rosemary and the marinating them that way and kind of grilling them. We don't like our lamb chops. There's a lot of people we found out who like their lamb chops like smothered and but that just takes away all the flavor in that meat. We're real specific on our chops.
So there's regular spicy, and I had him tweak the jerk blend, Jamaican jerk blend. So there's 3 blends from him. His link there for his Facebook page. He does business through the Facebook page, which is Facebook has a lot of stuff for business owners, business that have products. So you can reach him on the Facebook page, guys. Check it out. I think he used to do, I might be getting myself in trouble, but didn't he used to send out samples first? I can't remember.
He may have sent those samples to you, babe. I'm not sure if he sends out if
Forget
he's
that. Let me
sending out
rewind
samples to everybody.
Let me rewind and delete what I just said. Just go to the Facebook page.
Yeah, reach out to him.
Oh man, I just dropped something.
I tell you what, I wonder, all my naturalist hair people, how often do you wash your hair? Because let me tell you, you can't comment. But I know that I'm supposed to have like a weekly regimen of doing my hair. I fall short. I fall so short. Sometimes I go a couple of weeks without washing that hair. This hair needs to be washed. But y'all don't even know how much I have to go through just to wash some hair. We here at GBS appreciate you viewing and turning into. Look, he already. Remember to turn in Monday nights for your financial inquiries. Oh yeah.
About the Cash Flow Creators class.
So how's that been going so far? You've only done what, 2 classes?
So since that's there, let me go ahead and talk about it. Cash Flow Creators is the platform that I've been building out. I've been working on this for got to be 6 or 8 months. The issue was finding the right platform that would be conducive to how I want to build it out and how I want to make it an easy barrier or no barrier for people to come in and join the membership. So what I did is Facebook has these rooms. So I've been doing low-key kind of a test run on presenting these different cash flow strategies. And we've been getting a lot of good participation on that. It's in a private room, guys. That stuff is not going to be public. The membership is private because that information is only for the members of Cash Flow Creators. There's going to be a launch I'm talking about it, the 1st of next month. So everything should be dialed in and you'll start seeing more information coming out about that as well. So that's what Rashad was referencing. And I have, how many more Mondays are left in this month? 2?
Yeah.
But I got 4 more sessions because I'm doing it on Mondays and Wednesdays now.
Wait a minute. I
Wait a
have to
minute.
go
Wait a
back to
minute.
my
Wait a
best
minute.
friend with her retarded self.
What's going
You
on?
know, now this girl gonna post. It's only my second session, Jay, but I can tell the difference. I gotta work these kinks out in case I run into Dexter in Punta Cana.
Oh, good Lord. But before we go there, I risk I, the seasoning lady is here. I don't like messing up somebody's name. So I need to, good morning. I need to get the pronunciation of her name down. Or maybe
Yeah.
you can get it, Janet, and break it down for me. Because I'm a little slow, guys, when it comes to certain things.
But
I just believe that names are very important, and I don't like messing up somebody's name. So good morning, seasoning lady. That's your new nickname. Actually, Janet, I like
not a
because
chef.
she calls her customer group, what is it? The Snack Pack, SNAC. I think that's very clever.
Snack pack lady.
Yeah, we're part of the Snack Pack, man. Membership has its privileges.
Right, exactly.
So now, what's your buddy talking about?
This crazy girl talking about some running into Dexter. You
Oh,
ain't
good
gonna run
Lord.
into nobody because I'm sure Easy E gonna be
I'm gonna
right
see what
there
Easy E
with
gonna
you.
say about that right there. She must have had her shot. She didn't have coffee this morning. She had the shot of whiskey.
She must be in there by herself talking mad
Okay,
noise.
she had the shot of whiskey. She didn't have the coffee. She having a morning time happy hour. Okay, there we go. See, I like people, man, that are responsive. See, I was way off. Boy, you better take out the cue. I'm still gonna have to practice it, but thanks for that. I appreciate it. Now I'm getting ready to order my second round. I'm gonna go ahead and stock up. Because when I like something, I do not like running out.
Well, this is true.
You know that,
You
right?
have
I
your
do not
listen,
like
and so
running out.
because you're like that, I'm trying to understand how you come into my space and try to dictate to me about my inventory. Okay, because we are the same.
What do
Okay,
you mean dictate to you about your
about my
inventory?
inventory. You have too much inventory in here, babe. Babe,
Because
you have more.
inventory on hand, all I see is dollars. It's dollars. Create some stuff, guy. Make some stuff. Inventory. I'm the money guy. Inventory.
Anyway,
Dollars. Okay. Got 13,000 t-shirts, 18 million beads.
I ain't
Okay.
even listening to you. I'm going on to the next thing.
Let's
So,
move on before I get in trouble. It's Friday. I
so
don't like getting in trouble. So Rashad, I think he's kind to.
yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, Cash Flow Creators
Responsiveness,
is a
man.
safe place. And we like safe places, right? We like, being able to discuss freely in a safe place in a no judgment zone area. We have to have those areas. We don't want any Karens in the group, any Kens. I mean, if that's your name, then that's fine, but I'm talking about the attitude.
That's why virtual happy hour is such a success. And I like the fact that because you say happy hour, we're not getting sloppy drunk, guys. You can imbibe if you choose. There's not a requirement that you drink liquor, but
Right,
it's
right.
just the place. There's things we need to talk about, especially as adults. The world is different right now, and I don't want to get into that, but things are going to get a whole lot more different going forward.
The world is different. I watch a lot of these they seem to just pop up all over the place. These Karen videos, you know, the audacity, right, of people coming into your space, trying to dictate life to you in your space.
You made me think about the lady, the Karen, who was in Jamaica,
Right.
poolside, listened to Jamaican music, and went over there and tried to force them to turn off the Jamaican music because she didn't like Jamaican music. I was like, why the
And
bleep
then kicked
are you in Jamaica?
one of the guys. You tried to kick one of the guys. You tried to mess up the
And
DJ's equipment because you don't understand Jamaican music. Why are you even over there then? Why are
listen,
you there?
I'm so glad that has not happened to me because all I'm gonna say is, hey, Janet, use this account to bail me out. Don't worry about I'll transfer money later because I'm not taking it.
You know,
Know me, I am not taking that nonsense.
people that come to your home banging on your door at 3 o'clock in the morning. Things are just they're just ridiculous.
You
I
can knock
saw
on
one
their
this
door like you
morning
want if you want to.
where the lady was banging on the person's door, and everybody has a ring camera or some type of surveillance.
I'm gonna just say, let me introduce you to my friend Eagle.
you know
He has Go. Okay.
And she was mad because the lady's dogs were barking. Dogs bark. That's what they, they're dogs. And
You know what? I don't know.
that's what they do.
You know, you got a response to your question about hair, natural hair. I don't know if you want to
Yes.
go to that.
So she washes her hair every 2 weeks as well, because that's how she grew up. Her mom did their hair. Yeah, my mom did our hair every 2 weeks too. Good wash, deep conditioning, mayonnaise, you name it. I can't go natural because my hair is straight from the motherland.
The motherland.
My hair is straight from the motherland too.
I mean, seasoned lady. I mean, I know Janet knows me. I know she'd be praying, please don't let nobody come talk to this guy crazy, because I'm not the one. Listen, I'm gonna tell you how to play out, because you're gonna recognize that attitude right away, right? I'm not saying any words to you. The minute you violate my personal space, though,
that's the thing.
That's the key for me.
That's the key thing.
You know,
don't violate my personal space.
Nah,
Just go on about your little business, little person. I just feel like people just, I'm wondering, was it the pandemic that people, that you need some attention? You need a hug or something.
I don't care what it was, but I'm just, I'm not the one for that. You already know. I don't know what Jacob Wick is talking about.
Oh, getting drunk, getting tipsy in the club, getting tipsy.
Yeah.
Now she started celebrating her birthday last weekend. This girl's birthday is in 2 days, but she started celebrating. No, today is the 19th. Her birthday is, the 22nd or the 20th? Let me look at my calendar. You would think I would know this off the grip. Listen, I don't even know my own birthday. You have curls.
She said it. I ain't gonna say nothing on that one. That's a setup. I'm gonna tell you that statement.
It's a challenge. My hair is a challenge. Some days it have that act right, and some days it don't. And combing through those curls when we don't have, sometimes I don't even comb my hair for days. It's just.
But you know what? I can always run my fingers through your hair, though. We might have to take a brief intermission.
Good morning, Yolanda.
Hey, Yoli, good morning. Good morning. Let's get back to on tap.
My best friend's birthday is tomorrow.
And I know she's gonna party this on a Saturday too.
Oh, she gonna go out the rest of the month.
We should have flew over there, man. We had some other stuff going on. We should have flew over there.
Flew where? To Indianapolis?
Uh-huh.
That thing. I can't hang with her no more. As a matter of fact, I never really could hang with her.
Why does that not surprise me?
That girl go deep. So I was asked a question. We had some really good analytics. We were very, very happy that Ray Andrea came on the show, and there was some really nice analytics. But she was asking me why she asked me 2 questions. Why we do this so early, number 1, and number 2, when are we doing a podcast?
Who asked you that?
Ray.
These kids always be trying to get in our business, man. We the grown-ups over here. Okay? I have not sat, notice I said I, because certain things, the spouses, the male and the female, will just let the other just run with. And they just be like, okay, just tell me when to show up. And that's one thing Janet just lets me run with. So, we need to set a date to make it official. I got the platform. I've ironed out the platform, my analytical big fat head. I have to make sure things are the way we want them.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with about 10 platforms, narrowed down to 3, and that narrowed down to 2. And then I flipped a coin and chose the one we're going to use. But I got the platform. It's just a matter of us setting the date that we're going to launch, so that way I can build out the marketing. Actually, me and Rashad will build out the marketing for it. And then we do the podcast. That means, though, JCG, we will now come off of the Facebook Live and blast everything out through the platform. Listen, guys, if you're not leveraging technology, not just for your business, but for your life, there's a lot of cool stuff out there to help you just do just about everything. So the platform I
I'm
chose
telling you.
will
I'm
allow us to stream to Facebook and YouTube and some other choices. So just let me know when.
So I see that my other really, really good friend, well, she
Oh, it's
goes
gonna be a
by
fight.
Niecy, but I have never called her Niecy. I call her by her whole government name. But her birthday, her birthday is like a month behind chicks.
Well, it says Niecy on here. Your mama called you name your Niecy. I'm gonna call you Niecy. What's her name then?
Her name is Arnie Lanisa Jose.
I don't see that here. I see Niecy.
But she is actually, she's married to one of your closest friends' cousin. I
Oh,
think.
that's
Yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah. To Rydell's cousin.
Yep,
That
she's
means
married to
we
Rydell's
family.
cousin. Uh-huh.
In Mississippi definition, that means we family. What's up,
Yep.
fam?
So I won't forget. As a matter of fact, my son's birthday is on the 27th. So, but he's a Virgo. He's a Virgo. So you all babies.
Rashad celebrating his birthday.
I don't blame you, Rashad. I don't blame you. I used to celebrate my birthday the entire month of December.
August, people have to stick together, whatever.
So we were doing some research this morning, right? On the daggone potato. We were doing a couple of things this morning, y'all.
We should start recording our coffee time the chat we really have during coffee time.
Just random. We come up with random things.
6:15 in the morning talking about potatoes and the structure of the potato, the nutrients in the potato.
We come up with some random things, even to the point where we actually researched where the potato came from.
Oh, my mom.
And all of that. It's like just craziness. But one of the other interesting conversations that we had this morning, where you talking about how some of the housing prices have gone down a little bit, and how the migration of, and this has been going on for years though. So I don't think that this is new news. It's just news that has come up again.
What's she talking about?
She's talking about the friend thing, but it's not new news. It's something that's just come up again. Is that the migration for people from the northern regions of the country moving to the southern regions, because really you can live like kings if you're from New York and you move anywhere south. You can and with the same level of income that you have, you can buy yourself a mini mansion. And that's what happened to a lot of people that moved from New York to Atlanta. The cost of living for them and what they could purchase with their dollars was vastly different. And so now we see another migration of people relocating to places like Florida, for those reasons. And Florida is one of those states that don't have state taxes, so your dollars can go a long way. So I forgot what the percentage rate was that you mentioned that it went down to. You remember for the housing?
Oh, the housing. I just pulled up that info. So let me get to there. Housing. Let me find it. That was about the Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe I got the wrong thing here.
I don't know. Well, if you come across it, I'm sure it can come up again. So I wonder what everybody has going on this weekend though. So Sam, my husband told me yesterday, right? He says, this weekend, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start walking on Saturday. And I just looked at him. I was like, weren't we supposed to do that like a couple of Saturdays ago? Weren't we supposed to start? Because we bring new meaning to Netflix and chill, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We bring new meaning to Netflix and chill.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Man, I don't know what. You know what? Because I wasn't prepared. I was slow moping this morning. So here, wealthy Americans making at least $200,000 or more per year are fleeing high tax states and migrating down south. Florida, of course, is leading the way where people are moving to. And the states they're moving out of are New York, number one, California, Illinois, and Massachusetts. Okay, and it's about 2,000 to 19,000 people moving out of those states. Is that per month? Oh no, it just says 2,000 to 19,000 movers per state. They're going to Florida. The Sunshine State has the lowest tax burden of 5.75%, right? And has welcomed 20,000 high earner immigrants, the most of any other state.
You know, see, and one of the things that I still like about, the economy is that there's still, if you don't like going into an office, there's still virtual options, available from your, from corporate, whatever your company USA is. And so you are no longer saddled with being in the one particular state, that particular state in order to make an income. I really enjoyed when I was working for TAP Pharmaceuticals. Their corporate office was in Chicago, and we had a regional office in Atlanta. And I tell you, it was, there were people all over. So even if I didn't want to live in Atlanta, I had opportunities, what I'm saying, to go to other states and be able to work. So I just think that that's wonderful, that there's not, that you have options. I love the fact that we have options. He gonna eat. Definitely in order. You do what you do, You have a party at 3, Yolanda, and a wedding at 5. Girl, you are one social little butterfly. I'll tell you the truth.
So the party at 7, I'm sure you'll be, at least do a couple of minutes of jump in while you're at the party, like you did last Friday. I mean, you'd be out all over the place.
Look, a party at 3, a wedding at 5, and a pool party at 7. That's this week. Is that's Saturday? Yeah, she said that's all Saturday.
Oh, all Saturday.
That's good. Your butt gonna be wore out.
So, Janet, what do you think about what Russia's doing is paying women to have kids because they have an aging population? I think it's like $16,800 they'll pay to women. But here's the kicker. You got to have a total of 10 kids.
I think that in today's economy, first of all, I feel like, I have my own personal feelings about that whole country, right? And it's very, it's a country that subjectifies women. You don't really have a voice. Women don't really have a clear voice, over there. I would not be having a bunch of daggone kids. That sounds like somebody that's on welfare. You keep having the kids to get a check, and it's not a guarantee. You can't guarantee me that I'm gonna get this money. And that's another point. What happens as these kids start, aging out? Do I still have to continue to have more kids in order to keep this fund base?
No, it's just the amount of that 10 is the magic number because they're recognizing that the aging population, of course, you have more of an aging population than the younger generations. Then just through attrition, your population is going to decrease. Like, for instance, the Russian population fell by a record of 86,000 people a month from January to May of this year.
You know why? Because of the war that they created.
Actually, you're spot on.
You probably had people that fled because you're killing their family members in Ukraine, and then with war, you have casualties of war, period. So, I mean, if y'all want a bigger population, find some folks like the Duggards that like to have a whole bunch of kids. I think that though, overall, you're hard pressed these days to find places anywhere, a whole lot of places anywhere that are having, 10 or more children. You know what I'm saying? Like women, my grandmother had 12, but that's really not the norm. My father had a lot of children, but he didn't give life. He didn't give birth to those kids, so it's really not the norm. When you see people with multiple children, man, when you see people with 4 kids, you in today's society, you be like, where are you going with all them kids? So I think it's that, Yolanda says it's not worth having 10 kids. Not 10 kids that got to pass through this body. I ain't gonna even lie. And I love kids. Rob was sitting up, when Rob and Ray were talking about having, Ray wanted 6. Ray either wanted 4 or one of them wanted 4 and one of them wanted 6. And I was just like, that's too much. What y'all gonna do? All them kids. So what do you think about it?
I mean, me from a economy mindset, I see what they're doing. That's directly related to the economy there. But I don't know if they're going to really get women to. I'm not sure how the dynamics are for that country as far as birth rates. So that would be the next thing I would look at. But I think it's interesting that they're putting a monetary value on it, right? China did some things right on the other end of it, as far as having not so many kids. I don't think they paid the women to not have kids. They actually were doing some things to prevent it that were kind of questionable.
Yep.
But we'll see how that goes. I don't know.
What y'all think? I see what Yolanda thinks. 10 kids is too much. Coming from the lady that just had 1. I mean, I feel like I remember wanting a lot of children.
I wanted 6.
I wanted 12.
Good
but
Lord.
at the
How
time,
you gonna
I
complain
wanted
about the 10 people, the 10 kids from Russia then?
Let me tell you. Let me finish. By the time, I didn't know where kids came from when I said I
If
wanted.
I had met you younger, I would have gave you 10 babies.
That's a complete misconception.
I would have helped you.
I think that I still would have had only 2 children. And I'll tell you why. Once I figured out where they came from, and I had the first one, and what my body had to endure with the first one, I was like, But I didn't want my child to be an only child. So that is the reason. That is how I ended up having a second one. But after that second one, I'm like, listen, if I need to take care of anything else, I'm going to get a pet.
And what do we have? Where's Big Man at? Sleeping?
Right there at my feet in his bed.
He's spoiled, man.
Right at my feet. Rashad, you don't have any children, Rashad, and you don't want any? You gonna leave them babies where they at?
Sounds like he means it.
Ray just got a puppy, and now it's questionable if we're gonna ever get some grandkids out of that one daughter. And then the other daughter, she got engaged recently, but they're talking about 3 years before they get married.
Crazy.
So It's questionable if we gonna have any more children, any more grandchildren besides the ones that Rob has. It is what it is. I'm just really surprised, babe, that you don't have a gang of kids somewhere out there.
That was intentional.
Oh, okay, Rashad. You do have children, but you're not in a rush. Oh,
No, I
you
think he's
want
saying he wants kids.
he
Yeah.
wants kids. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we ain't gonna talk about it.
We ain't talking about kids.
Uh-huh. How she don't know what she get into this weekend on her actual birthday weekend?
Oh, she's making some sympathy bouquets. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like spontaneity too. And I was jealous because your sister flew in for your birthday, but my sister is coming next month. Yep, she sure is. And I'm sure gonna have some fun. I'm gonna have some fun.
That means I gotta go get some salmon.
You gotta go get some salmon.
Salmon.
My sister be wanting everything. Like she see the pictures that Sam makes, or whatever, and she like, he don't cook like that for me. But she forgets that whenever she comes, the only thing she wants is salmon.
Mm-hmm.
That's all she ever wants.
True story.
True story. I ain't gonna eat. I love salmon as well, but I'm not gonna eat it all day, every day.
So I was just thinking maybe we can have a shorter coffee and chat today, unless someone brings up some topics they want to discuss. I want to talk a little bit about, because since we drink coffee and we're talking about on Coffee Chat, Starbucks, right? By the way, if you're on Starbucks stock, is up, was up 23%. I mean, 0.23% yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that they haven't seen a change in customer spending or frequency despite rising prices. I can only imagine how much Starbucks is charging for coffee right now. I mean, it's got to be a big increase. But here's the thing that I took note of: coffee remains a non-negotiable necessity. People gonna have their coffee. We have our coffee. How often do we miss having bulletproof coffee?
We don't miss it.
We don't miss it.
The only time that we'll miss having bulletproof coffee is if we don't have one of the main ingredients, like butter.
Yeah.
Because there's, even if you run out of coffee, you're going to get that coffee.
Starbucks lost me. Go ahead, Jan.
I found it real interesting that 50% of Americans drink coffee daily.
Mm-hmm.
And that equaled out to be, it says that equaled out to be 1.5 million.
I thought it was more than that.
Wait, let me find my statistics.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I agree with Yolanda. Hey, I was a Starbucks person, but I'm a black coffee drinker. I almost got into the coffee business. Maybe I'll talk about that. But when I did my business plan, it was right before Starbucks came out. So I was working with the Small Business Association, and they have those SCORE mentors. And there's one goes, "Hey man, I did a little bit of research on coffee, and there's this place that's generating some activity up in the Seattle, Washington area." I said, "You know what? I'm going up there because my uncle lives in Tacoma." Man, I went up there and I saw the original Starbucks location, the one that Howard Schultz bought from the actual original owners. I don't know if you guys know the story. He wasn't the original owner of Starbucks, but he believed in it, in what they were doing, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
But I went up there and we came back and I met with my mentors and I said, maybe we'll hold off and see how this is gonna, work out, because the one thing we don't want to happen is, what if they just blast that? This is what the guy tells. I'm never going to forget this. What if they blast out nationally, and that by default will hurt all the small mom and pop coffee houses? Because I don't know if you guys remember, those little mom and pop small coffee houses used to be great. You go in there and you chill. The ones I was going to in California had jazz music. right? And I was going to do something similar. So we decided to wait, man. It wasn't even a good 6 months to 8 years. Starbucks came out on the national scene and hurt those other small coffee houses. So anyway, I was only a black coffee drinker at Starbucks. Here's where they lost me, is when that went up. I couldn't
Justify.
$3 for a small, what I call a small cup of coffee.
A black cup of coffee,
I
coffee
just
black.
didn't do it, so they lost me on that one.
So
However,
according to the statistics, in just the U.S. population, over 50% of Americans over 18 years of age drink coffee every day. That represents over 150 million daily drinkers.
That's a lot.
30 million adults drink specialty coffee beverages daily, which include a mocha, latte, espresso, cafe mocha, cappuccino, and frozen iced coffee beverages, etc. And I'm with Chick. I was a tea drinker. I did not drink coffee at all.
Since you're mentioning tea, I just told you this morning also, in the UK, there's 7,400 coffee cafes, which is huge because they're known for what?
For tea.
Historically.
A spot of tea and some crumpets, my dear.
I'll take a scone with my tea.
But I started drinking coffee with my friend Hope when I started working for Casa New Orleans. I ended up starting because I was making the coffee, and it would be so cold in the office. I needed to stay warm, and I started drinking coffee with her, and I've been drinking coffee ever since. And that was probably 2002.
Yeah, that was about 2002. I remember.
You remember that? 2000.
I remember that was 2002 when you started drinking coffee. Such a great organization, Casa. You worked for them. I was on the board of Casa in Bakersfield, California. That's an organization, Janet, we should circle back around to, and where we relocate to rather, and see if we can kind of. I love working with Casa because of what they do. For kids, right? Court-appointed special advocates for kids.
Man, yeah. Casa was very, very hard on me. It was so emotionally taxing.
Yeah.
And what people do to children, I just
can't fathom it, man. I mean,
you can't
their own kids.
Well, not just that, and when they're placed into the system, some of those foster parents, it's just too much. And Yolanda, anytime you go outside of the home to have these items, to have your whatever your beverage of choice is, it's gonna be more expensive. But a lot of people, you always have to weigh in those costs, right? And I was never a huge Starbucks person, period. I never was. Sam is actually the person who got me on to Starbucks. But I tell you, when we started drinking Bulletproof, or just, sitting still long enough to brew some coffee at home, I definitely have just preferred that, and absolutely just preferred. I just prefer Bulletproof. I used to be the person who had a little bit of coffee with my sugar and cream. And so now that has changed. So I'm like Sam, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on, I could do my fun someplace else. Now I say that my sister gave me a Starbucks gift card last year, and every time we go to Target, the first place that Sam makes a beeline to is the Starbucks line. The only thing that I was looking for at Starbucks was their tumblers, pricing out those tumblers. But I don't even do that anymore.
Well, I had the card, and I think it was $30 or $40 on the card. So you don't want the money to go to waste, right?
I don't want it to go to waste. No.
Go to waste.
And I think, really, honestly, I think that it's like a fad. All of my friends are doing it. When you talk about Young Lion, his buddies were probably doing it. You in college, you like a little bluppy yuppie, whatever it is, and that's simply what they do. They go in these coffee shops and they do their work, because you can do that. Have a Starbucks. Next thing you know, you're always wanting a Starbucks.
By the way, I chatted with Young Lion. Was it this morning? He said he is over his whatever it was. So I'm
That's
glad for him for that. We got to get his butt back to school,
mm-hmm.
back to college. Speaking of food, how many of you guys, if you have been going out to eat, because after the COVID, the pandemic was over, people really started going back and trying to save the restaurant industry. If you guys are going out there now, prices are higher. Are you guys still tipping? Let's get some response on it. Are you still giving tips when you go out to eat at restaurants? I got some stats on that I want to go over, Janet, if you don't mind.
I don't. I'm curious.
Responses on it, right? I don't know if a lot of people, we pass by just traveling and going out and running our errands. The places we pass by, the parking lots are full, no matter what time of the day, we're driving by at restaurants. So people here are going out. But if you've gone out to eat recently, did you leave a tip? By the way, TIP stands for to ensure prompt service. Let me tell you something I learned from one of my mentors. To ensure. Now look at that. Now I don't know if somebody made that up or not. This is what was told to me years ago. I was a young man. So to ensure prompt services, tips. So if you're going to want to ensure prompt services, then should you give the tip at the beginning or the end of service?
If you want to ensure prompt service, then you have to give it at the beginning.
So when I was living in California, I worked for this car dealership, was owned by a Mexican American, and he really took care of his managers and everything. And I was on the management team. One of the first dinners we went to, and I wasn't the only one, he blew away with this. He hands the waitress, I can still see this in my mind, it was like $100, because there was about 12 of us, $100 bill. Almost every guy at the table, like, he broke it down. No, guys. He says to the waitress, hey, I want to make sure you take care of my team. By the way, after the service is done, there will be another tip. So he would use those kind of things as lessons to groom us and teach us, right? That's where I got that from, right? So think about it. What kind of service would you get if you said, hey, and let me break it down here's $5 now. This is not your only tip. I want to make sure we get some great service. That's all you say.
That would be, we tip well when we haven't gone out to eat in a very long time, but we generally tip well. I am curious that if we did that, because we've never done that.
Let's do a social experiment.
Yeah, let's do a social. Well, can we do it? Because you and I
well, I'd have to change some things I do because I don't carry dollar bills around. I don't carry cash. And that's how that would have to work, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't wait. I was blown away, when I found out that they make way less than whatever minimum wage was. When minimum wage was $5, they wasn't even making $5 an hour.
It's ridiculous, guys. We're talking $1, $2, $3 an hour. I don't know how. I don't know why I haven't researched this further, but I don't know how the restaurant industry gets away. Gets away with that.
My best friend in her comments, I just can't deal with her right now.
Well, the rule here is when people put a comment, it's blasted out. Oh, good Lord, maybe I should have done that.
Maybe you should have looked at the comment before you put it on there. But yeah, it is ridiculous. How are they supposed to make a living when when they aren't being paid an hourly wage?
And for some kind of way, and I'm sure there's something set in some kind of rule or regulation that allows them to get away with it. The tips is their money. It's how they get paid. So going into the restaurant business as a server, waitress, waiter, you already know that you're not going to get no $10, $12 an hour at restaurants, right? Serving the food. Now, if you go to, let's say, like one of our favorite places, Chipotle, then those are employees that are actually preparing and that kind. That's different. We're talking about a sit-down restaurant where someone's coming to take your order, bringing out your food, bringing your water, your wine, and your old fashioned. I almost want an old fashioned. Now that came from out of nowhere, kind of thing, kind of place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that either. Good Lord, $2.15 an hour.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. And you have to be hustling.
There, to your point.
And it depends on where she works too. It does depend on where she works.
Mm-hmm. I want to do it now. That means we gotta, because we haven't been going out to eat.
No, we haven't.
Because the meals have been what? So what, babe? That I've been making, they've been what? What'd you say?
Listen, and it's to the point. We have been really, really disappointed whenever we've gone to restaurants. For example, we went to the same we tried this restaurant 3 times. It was a steak restaurant, a steakhouse. We went for my birthday and it was so good. It was so good. And I was like, you know what, babe? We went before my mom passed away.
Right.
It was so good, right? And then so we turned around and we were like, well, let's go for our anniversary. We went there for our anniversary. We had our, we had to hire a babysitter, for my mom. This is, so for my birthday, Sam's birthday, and our anniversary, we went out to eat, and we hired a babysitter to look after an adult sitter, because she's not a baby, but we hired a sitter to look after my mom. And we decided to go to the same place. The second time we went, I like my steaks medium, point blank and the period. Point blank and the period. But there was something that was off the second time that we went. And we still gave them another try. We went back for Sam's birthday. It's really because of the convenience. It was right around the corner from the house. All of this kind of stuff. And that it was just horrible. So I've never been back. It was like.
After that time, we bumped into, I think it was 2 sisters, African American ladies who were sisters. And they said, the lady goes, yeah, we had the same issue. And one of the people that worked there told us, oh, it all depends on who's back there cooking. So there's no consistency, right? So if it depends on who's back there cooking, then you're not going to have consistency for that place. But I didn't know this. I mean, seasoning lady.
I did. Yeah.
What the bartender got to do with anything?
Well, because the bartender, when you order your drinks, they go to the bartender. They don't pour the drinks. They go into the bar to get the drinks. So yes, I did know that part, that they have to tip the bartender. Yep. They have to tip the bartender. And in some places, they have to share the tips as well.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people for coffee and chat, I mean, they're drinking coffee. Like I said, you have coffee or a shot of whiskey. I think some people are choosing the latter.
Well, I didn't even know. Listen, I didn't know that that's what it stood for. And perhaps, had I known that.
It's a different mindset, right?
Right. It is a different mindset. Then it would, because here's the deal. If you don't give me good service, I'm not going to tip you. I'm going to give you a tip, but I'm not going to tip you as well as I probably would have.
So what if you go in with the mindset, you know what, no matter where I go and eat at, right? I don't want to take the chance of getting good service. I want good service. Hey, here's $10. I'm giving it because I want to ensure that I get good service from you. So you think that would change the mindset of the wait staff?
No. I mean, sometimes it just depends. It depends on the wait staff. Because to me, babe, it's just like people that work at McDonald's, right? you just have you have people that are miserable, or you have people that are entitled, or, people that just don't like life. And they got the job because it was a job, but that's not what they really, really wanted to do. So I do see, and like I said, I feel like it depends on where you're going. It really depends on where you're going.
So there's some variables in place. I kind of want to do a social experiment though.
Yeah. I would like to.
So I could see Quincy being an excellent server. And well, I wouldn't want to piss him off though, because I can see him going off on you too. So now that I know that about the bartending, this makes sense. I mean,
yeah, bartenders make good money. So yeah, I could see that.
So the stats that I got, one of my many emails I get and I read in the morning. Where is it at? So restaurant goers tipped an average of 19.6% at full service restaurants, the same rate as 1 year ago. That's interesting because I know prices have gone up. Quick service restaurants and delivery orders tip rates remain unchanged too, averaging at 16.9% and 14.5% respectively. So people are tipping. The average tip amount rose 10% year over year with the cost of restaurant takeout food, while the cost of restaurant takeout food rose 7%. So there's the proof that prices increase and people still tip. I think that goes to the fact that now we all know now that, that's how those people are making their money, right? So to intentionally not tip, that's an interesting choice to make, but people do it, right? So that's the other side of the spectrum.
I think that, I always say this: when you know better, you do better, right? And for me, knowing that these people don't make any money, hourly wages,
right?
Everybody is out here trying to make a living. You know what I'm saying? And so that was huge for me when I found that out, but, and then you have, so it's a conglomerate of things. You have a waitress or a server.
It's a what?
Conglomeration of things that go on in service. You have those people who now, I love good service, but let me tell you what I really don't care for. I don't want to know your whole life story. I don't want you hovering over me, talking to me the whole time. I didn't come there to socialize with you.
And
I came to eat a meal.
That's not needed.
Right. It's not needed.
I don't think for us, that's not a requirement that we're going to tip you well. There's other things that take priority over that, right?
So those, but at the same time, there are times when, it's like there was that one breakfast spot that we used to go to up the street. And
which one?
When they recognize who you are, the little spot that we would go to that did those fried biscuits or whatever they were.
Oh, you want to tell the story of your mom? We were going to take my mother-in-law there, and we pulled up.
Oh yeah.
I connected with my mother-in-law. I could feel that she wasn't feeling that place. I'll let you tell if you want to what she said.
There's this place, these old people are really funny. Old people are funny. There's this place that we wanted to stop at, to eat after we had taken my mom to one of her appointments. This was before, she got pretty bad and, she was no longer able to go out. So we had passed by this place. We passed by it like all the time. And we were like, we should stop there. And then one day we decided that we were going to stop there. And she was like not having it because I guess, the racial disparities.
Back in the day.
So we didn't go. We didn't go until after, she passed away or whatever. And when I tell you that our experience was completely different than what her experience was.
Right.
It's like when we walked into the place, we didn't feel there was a group of patrons that you could tell were there like every day, right? They had their own little booth, their own little section, but we never, even from them, we never felt that energy. right, that these people were profiling or racist, or it was like a whole vibe. And the staff, the wait staff,
Right.
well, you can't say wait staff because there was somebody who came and took our order. Okay, there was the owner, his wife, somebody back there cooking, and one or two people that came and took our order, because it was like a really small space. But from the first day we went, they knew exactly who we were in the times that we went back, and even then there was a space and time where we didn't go for a long time. And then we went back. Hey, how y'all been? Y'all haven't been here in a while. And I do like those kinds of places.
Right.
I do like that with,
That's one of those places that have what I call the old man table. They tried to get me to sit with them one time. I go, man, they ain't old.
Yeah. And, there's a couple of those spots like that.
Wow, now that's a good kid. What do you mean a kid won't take money from you?
Huh. So speaking of which,
What they do that at?
So Ray, I was talking to Ray last night, and there was a lady that she knew used to do taxes, but she does like she cooks, and she made Ray a plate yesterday. She used to serve, or she used to cook for other people, or cater, and she's trying to rebuild back up her clientele. But she told Ray that, she would make her a plate or whatever. And so Ray went to pick it up. She had forgotten about it. The lady called, she met her, and Ray wanted to pay. And she was like, no, the way that you can pay me is to blast me out on social media. But Ray was like, I'm going to find your Cash App and you getting paid. Because what she said is real. It's real, and something that we all need to think about. This lady took her time to prepare a meal for me, right? Not only did she take her time to prepare this meal for me that I didn't ask for, but she was also willing to drive to me and meet me. Oh, she getting paid. And so while I was talking to her on the phone, some funds was being exchanged between her and her boyfriend, and she like, this is going to pay for that meal. And she cashed out the lady. And we should all really, really thrive to be like that. It's paying it forward, right? And it's showing the appreciation to people who are doing you whatever that service, is. Yeah.
Well, that falls into the category I love, is that, especially with me helping or wanting to do what I can to help other Black businesses grow. Don't offer me a discount. I'm not taking your discount. I don't want your discount. We need to get away from that. It happens a lot, happens too much, actually. So you're going to discount the Black business there, but you go and don't ask Walmart. Someone said that on my post. You don't want to ask Walmart for a discount. Now, I used to do this thing, guys, where I would ask, when we go into these big stores, what would I used to do? Hey, can I use your employee discount? I was asking them, okay. But I
no shame. And what's really interesting is that some places that we would go to, they would actually, honor some type of discount. They sure would. And I would be super duper embarrassed. But again, I feel like that's even different because, you're big box, you're big corporations. And, we say Walmart is dirt cheap any daggone way. Those of us who prefer shopping at like Target or, other stores, the bottom line to it is that whatever it is that we want to purchase, okay, we have no problem paying whatever that price is. If the price is the price, boo. When we go to these stores, the price
I like that. I like that.
And we don't have a problem paying it. You might complain when you go to the gas pump of how much your gas prices has increased, but guess what? You're paying the price because the price is the price. You need that gas to get where you're going, and you're not asking them for a discount.
We don't know what we don't know, and we know only what we know, right? So, and I'm gonna use that to defend partly or why us as Black people do that. But here's something that we don't know is how big the Black economy is, guys. I didn't know the number had grown so much since the last time I looked. But we are, as an economy itself, I'm just going to drop this in, is huge, right? This is why we should not be nickel and diming our business owners. That's a country's GDP. Okay. This is what they're guessing that the actually saying is probably more than that. So if we are as a whole got this much cash flow out there, where's it going? Well, we know where it's going. And then we're going to nickel and dime our own business people. No, stop it. Come on. Cut it out. Pay the full price. If that person decides to comp you, hey, like Janet, you do this thing where you do the free gift. I don't know if you do that with all your products, but I don't want to say throw in, but you add like that's part of your business model.
And it's a value, it's a value gift. When you think about whatever my gifting is, right? It's something that it's not like a sticker. Like a lot of people that give, stickers in the packagings. No, I don't give out stickers. I mean, I do include some stuff like that, but I give an actual gift. And it's just my way of saying thank you, because you don't really have to shop with me. In most of my when I do tumblers, most of the time I include, I'll make a keychain to go along with that, so it's it's something that's going to be nice. When I used to do jewelry, a lot of times I would throw in a pair of earrings. I just did some cufflinks and for a client, and I threw in an additional pair of cufflinks. They wanted squares and I threw in a pair of rounds. When I used to do cufflinks quite a bit, like Chick, her husband has ordered several pairs of cufflinks at one time. I used to actually make a cufflink
that's right,
holder box out of a cigar case. And I'm gonna be right back because I'm gonna show you what it looks like.
And this is what I'm talking about, seasoning lady. That's it. I mean, stop nickel and diming our people, and you don't do that anyplace else. Let me drop this back up, guys. This is why a lot of people go, well, Sam, what does that mean? Blah, blah. Here's what this means. When we start reallocating those dollars back to us, guys, it changed the whole game. Walk around to a lot of our neighborhoods. That's an economic situation we have, and the economy is money. When you're talking about economic dilemmas and situations, we're talking about money. We have the money to do for ourselves. Look throughout history when we did this. And it's not just about Black Wall Street and Tulsa. There were several locations across the country. When we are left to our own devices, we're natural creators. We're natural success stories, right? This thing right here, where this large sum of money is going outside of our community, not staying in our community, not even a good day. It's just a few hours that it stays in our community. This is one of the biggest things that's hurting us now. I know that's a big soapbox of mine, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But I like what our seasoned lady is saying there. This is what you do, right? Get on the snack pack list, and let her do what she do as far as how she wants to do her discounts or whatever.
Right. My biggest thing is not, I'm going to do my own thing, whatever my thing is, right? But what I'm not going to allow is for you to dictate to me what I need to do for you for my business, But like I said, one of the things that I used to do, because my husband is a huge cigar enthusiast, right? And when I started the Style with Taste journey, I really started this journey because of him, because he liked, he wanted to wear bracelets, but he felt like they were always too heavy. And so I started making, and they were kind of cookie cutter. So I started making bracelets for him.
You went and got my stuff. That's mine.
This one is mine.
That's
I don't know
fine.
where yours is,
Yeah, don't
but
be
this one is
giving
mine.
me something then taking it back. That's cold, man.
That's mine. So I started making bracelets for him. And he was a person who wore bow ties and cufflinks. And I didn't like, I just really don't like cookie cutter, the same thing every time. So I would go out and I would make bow ties. And I loved them because I was able to have not financial, but creative freedom.
Financial. What?
Creative freedom. And that just started a whole business. Well, because he loved cigars so much, I would go to the cigar places with him. And, the owners would give me empty cigar boxes, right? So this is an example of one of the cigar boxes that they gave me. They let me pick and choose. And so what I started doing for my customers that were ordering 3 or more sets is I started making um, cufflink holders out of the cigar boxes. And the thing that I really, really loved, I love the way that cigars smell. And I love the way that the cigar boxes smell. And so it's like with men, that was a huge thing, for them that wore cufflinks. Because most guys who wear cufflinks, they like, it kind of coincides. They like cigars, or they like that manly, something that is manly. And so that's what I offered to them. And if any of y'all know anything about purchasing something like that, something because it's not cookie cut, it's not something that you can find every day. It's going to be, expensive. But it's one of those things that I did for free for my clients who were ordering that. And that's the part that I enjoy is, it's a value item. That's the whole point of it. It's not just something that you can throw away. It's a valued item.
Yeah, Quincy, that is a lot. We don't realize the value that we have here. And now you can ask yourself, I'll drop it back in there because a lot of us don't realize these numbers, right? This is, my day-to-day job. I'm always looking at this stuff, but we don't realize this. And my last look, though, was below 2 trillion, which was about a year ago when I looked at this. So we're one of the best economies out there. We just don't realize the power of our economy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The sad part about this number, guys, if I can paint a little bit of a picture here, Janet, without getting to in my financial advisor role. But the sadder part of this is we look at a big number like this and we automatically assume it consists largely of the part of our Black community, which is the smallest part, by the way, that's doing extremely well. No, guys, this is the people making $25,000, $35,000, $40,000 a year. Think about it, because what's the financial mindset with that financial demographic? They are consumers. They're trying to dress it to impress like they got a lot of money. They're trying to wear the latest fads, aka Jordans, and all that kind of stuff. And they're just spending, buying all these material things to compensate most of the times for the mental state that they're in, the negative mental state that they're in. That's a whole nother Facebook Live, though, right? Because there's nothing worse than having financial stress.
I tell you, and that's another thing. People don't blink 2 eyes when little Bobby say, he wants those Jordans or that Nike this or that Adidas that. Here we go. We will pull out the whole bank to go and get little Bobby all of those things. Whatever your favorite football team's jersey is. And the thing is this, is that when it comes to those types of products, they are all manufactured the exact same way, and for dirt cheap. But it's that whatever, your price point is based on whatever the consumer is willing to pay. And because you have that swoosh on it, clearly statistics has indicated that they will pay a premium price for the swoop. Because a dry fit shirt is a dry fit shirt. Okay. A cotton shirt is a cotton shirt, right? But you're paying the premium price because it says Nike or Polo or Adidas or what Louis Vuitton, whatever it says. So why not, you have mass production of these items When you're looking at a small business, you don't have a mass production of those items. And it's like someone said, that the cost, small businesses spend more on products, packaging, etc. And not to mention their time. I know that in my business where a lot of people fall short because they look at this as a hobby, they don't factor in what their hourly rate is. They only factor in how much whatever their cost of materials are, and they'll factor the cost of material and some other little things, but they won't factor in the whatever you pay yourself, right? They don't factor that in, and that's where you do yourself. You do yourself and then people like me a major disservice, because that's when people say, oh, I can go over here and get it cheaper. But when you're talking to these people, it's like it never occurred to them that they're actually supposed to pay themselves. And I learned that a long time ago. It's like if you had to go out and get a job, right? Or the last company that you worked for, how much did they pay you? You may not be able to afford to pay yourself what that company paid you, but you need to include whatever your hourly rate is, because you're doing the work. So that's really important.
So, seasoning lady, I was impressed by. I think I saw her post that once before. She created her designs and logos. So I happen to have that here at my desk. Only important things stay on my desk, right, Janet?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. Well, I think you told me this is a sticker, right? Here I am trying to show something again.
Well,
By the way,
it's not a sticker.
not a
It's
sticker?
it's a glossy. Yeah, because a sticker you would be able to pull it off and put it on something.
Right. By the way, I'm not going to use that discount code. I mean, I think the products are affordable enough. And then this came with the packaging. This kind of stuff I like. I like to get, so I know I'm not, you can't see it. I'm bad at this, man. But I like the fact, because now this is why this is still on my desk. I'm trying to find a place to keep it. I can quickly look at this. Oh, right. I don't have this one. Let me try this one next.
Mm-hmm.
And it got a description on here. And I just saw this yesterday where kind of giving you kind of a hint on how to use it. We're back to the reason why I thought about this too, because customer service,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is huge, especially so on the other side of that, right? We talk about supporting the Black business, but you got to come straight. You got to come correct. You can't be half, what, and it.
Right, right.
Then expect necessary, people to spend money. You got to give the same, if not better, quality of product, and definitely customer service is always key, no matter what you're doing. Oh, thank you. It's a thank you card.
And like Chick says, she does offer discounts.
Okay.
She offers discounts to repeat clients. So in her business, right, that she has frequent people who it's not a one-time deal, right? It's not a one-time deal. And I will do the same thing too. I have clients who have been my clients for years, and it's like sometimes I'll do the that standard for those particular people, a standard discount for them, because they're always purchasing from me. And to her point, to our seasoning lady's point, it is important that whatever the materials are that you pack with your product, to look professional in a nice kind of way. So, I create my own labels, and stuff like that go on my packaging. I try to package things a particular way. I go out and I actually purchase thank you cards, right? I'll purchase thank you cards, and I always have a handwritten note. So I'll buy blank cards and handwrite. And then I also created my own other thank you card that has all of my information on it and a little blurb, in addition to putting it's branding, right? Putting my logo stickers on the packages, And the last thing that I feel that I need to do, and I'll ask Rhonda if she does this as well. I want I want my name on like because I use a lot of that tissue paper. I want my business name, on my tissue paper. Even, even to the point where um I want to do like my boxes, my packaging boxes. I do it on bags. If I'm delivering locally, I'll put my logo on the bag, but most of my things are shipped out, to different places. And so I want to be at the place where even my boxes have, my Style with Taste logo on. I think that branding is very important. And so even my t-shirts, I put my brand on my t-shirts. Whatever design you want, you look in that label, still gonna say Style with Taste. So I'm curious as to my best friend, because she does floral arrangements. She does a couple of other things, but how when it comes to her packaging, how does she do that? She delivers a lot of things, because of the business that she's in. So I'm just curious, how she does that. Hmm.
I like that idea.
I like that idea
That's
too.
what I'm doing. That's what the Cash Flow Creators is about.
Hmm.
We've already had proof that memberships work. You ever shop at a place called Sam's Club, Costco? We know the membership model works, and I like the fact that us entrepreneurs now are kind of bringing that over into what we're specifically doing. It can pretty much done for pretty much any type of business as well. Seasoning later, I'll inbox you the platform that I found recently that works for me. I've looked at a lot of these different platforms. There's one out there you're looking at. I probably already researched it and did some due diligence. But that's a great idea for her product.
Hmm.
I could see how that would work. I'm a member. Maybe I can push a button or two. Boom! I ordered this the last time, and boom, she gets it. And talk about automation that can be done as well.
Listen, even Amazon does it. If there are certain things that you buy on Amazon, like for me, because of I work with these chemicals when I'm working with resin and things like that. Sometimes it messes with my eyes, right? It's caused me to have like dry eye, and probably because of my age and a couple of other things too. So I have to get these. I order these drops from Amazon, and I could literally have this on autopilot. It's like a subscription base. I have the option of getting it one time, or continually getting it. And they have a couple of things like that on Amazon. So that's absolutely, if you have a product like she has, something that can be subscription
Right.
based, then yeah, just like you, babe.
She said she got the membership apps 2 weeks ago. I'm in like
Mhm.
Flynn on that one. Especially if it's going to be what I think she's doing, of making a seamless process to keep my order flow going. Because now it's in the mix. You notice Janet said a few minutes ago, I don't know if you caught that, season later. She says, our seasoning later. See, I should be taking all my people, right? I meet the people, I befriend them, I support them. Now, all of a sudden, now why is the seasoning lady going to take her side for everything? Now I get kicked to the curb. See,
Babe, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I get kicked to the curb in
It is
2.2
what it
seconds.
is.
I
It
get
is
to the
what
curb. This dude talking about food and drinks.
it is.
Food and
He
drink.
about, he about to have him a smorgasbord, a mini buffet.
You know,
Thank you.
I'm doing my intermittent fasting, which Janet is loving, by the way. So I switched. I did my 60 some days of OMAD. Janet wasn't liking it, and now I'm on IF, and I'm starting to get hungry before an hour before. I got my mind on those pork chops, man. Those two we had left over.
I think that like this is why I love keto. Okay? Because keto is not a diet. Okay, it's not a diet. Therefore, for me, it's more sustainable. Even if I get off of keto, like we got off when we first moved here and everything that was going on with my mom,
Right.
I had a lot more carb intake or whatever. It's the transition for getting back on is a whole lot easier. It's not like I got to go and buy these shake powders and all kinds of different things, right? It's just that I have to stop buying or, tell Sam, because I say it like I'm actually going to the store. Sam does.
The last time you went to the grocery store
I
by
went to the
yourself?
store the other day with you.
No, by yourself with a grocery list. I just remembered. I tried to send you one time I was sick, and your butt called me like 1,100 times. What is this? I can't find this. Did you want this kind or that kind?
What aisle is that on?
Come on back home, man. You got time for all these 1,001 questions.
But it's been the easiest transition for me, and I don't have any crazy cravings. I don't believe that OMAD, even you did excellent. You did it for over 60 days, but I don't believe that is sustainable long term.
It is. I'm telling you, it is. The 60 days proved to me. I didn't think I was going to do a week.
I remember when we did the Daniel fast. I didn't think I could last through Daniel for a day. And we ended up doing it. I don't know if we did it 60 days or if we almost made 60 days. I know we went past 30. Okay. But I just, babe, when it comes to long-term sustainability, obviously anything we put our minds to, we can do.
Okay, but thank you.
I don't think that, your body is really designed, and it worked for you.
Let me tell you why I'm going to disagree. Because in this country, specifically, we do what? What's the one thing we do, no matter what demographic, nationality? We overeat, we overconsume. So we're taxing our body. So what's some of the problems with that, Sam? Why are you bringing it up? Well, overeating, the body's working more. It's a whole process to digest food. It's not just, we eat it and it is done. It's literally several processes combined, actually, right? So if you're doing that, guess what is increasing? Wear and tear on your body, chronic illnesses, aging quicker. So when you do less of that, you get the reverse. It's a mindset. That's all it is.
I agree that it's a mindset, but what I also know is
to do intermittent fasting. Look at that. Look how that works 6 years later.
I've been doing intermittent fasting for a few years though.
Okay. 3, 4.
Yeah, since we were home.
That's 5 years ago, Janet.
We've only been here for whatever.
3.
I am not entertaining you this morning.
Okay, so we are over our time. You feel like going longer, or what's the deal?
I mean, it's what the people want. You got to give the people what they want.
A break or nothing.
We did not. Today is a heck of a day, huh?
Thank you. Someone said the key word. You guys need to research the undeniable benefits of fasting. But see, we want to eat 18 meals a day and wonder why we're hurting. I read a good article this morning also. The illnesses that we say are generational or genetic, they're not. They're food related.
So you don't think that people may have a predisposition of high blood pressure or diabetes?
What's the predisposition? What does that really mean? That means that those same eating trends. See, what we put in our body is so crucial. And we've been led down this road to not realize how crucial and important it is, right? So let's look at fat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they created the fake fats and told us the fake fats were good for us. How in the world ever something fake is good for us? What do you mean, Sam? How big was margarine when you were growing up, Janet?
Who? Country Crock.
Country Crock. Terrible stuff, man. So you mean to tell me you got the cow out there doing this thing with grass without any chemicals, right? No chemicals on the grass, no chemicals being put in the cow, making this natural thing called milk. They made that milk into some other products naturally. Now we process this stuff, and it's better than what nature it did, you can't beat Mother Nature. You can try if you will. And not only that, they did this huge campaign. Not, I won't say to trick us. It's marketing, and marketing is all psychology, to make you believe that that processed thing is better than what Mother Nature did. Because let's go back just slightly. I'm not talking 1,000 years, just maybe a couple of hundred, when we didn't have overly processed foods. And what were the people doing? They had cows, they had chickens, they had goats. They were making those products off of what those animals were providing. There was no cancer, there was no obesity. So yes, I can say that. I research this stuff all the time. It's just that we fail to recognize what's really going on in that area to our detriment, especially as Black people, to our detriment. So when we say it's genetic because for generations we saw what our parents, our grandparents doing this kind of thing, right? And we end up doing it as well.
Well, of course, that brings us to a whole plethora of different conversations.
Plethora. We say, well, I don't want to get too deep in the woods with it, but
you start talking about the whole, just generational curses, in all of the areas. I think that the best thing that we can do is just like you have a valid point. I eat this because I've always eaten this, or my mom and them, my grandmama and them. This is how we, this is how it is. This is how we eat.
For all the marketing and the ads you see telling you that it's a healthy food.
Well, marketing is really, mass marketing is really something else. Even when it comes to like the holidays, you remember when Christmas, people really started Christmas shopping the day after Thanksgiving. Now even Christmas decorations are up in August. It's just ridiculous, So you think that Santa Claus, and I've never been on that whole Santa Claus tip, that Santa Claus is you need to start shopping now so that Santa Claus can bring you your gifts on Christmas Day. How ridiculous does that even sound?
You really shut that down. We feel the same about the whole Santa Claus thing, right?
I told my son, my children have never believed that Santa Claus came to our house. There was no way I was giving Santa Claus any kind of cred for my hard labor, and my sacrifice to make their Christmas nice. I simply do not agree with any family that gives that. And of course, people don't agree with me. My son does not agree with me. My grandkids believe in Santa Claus. But you
find that to be so funny.
I find it to be just ridiculous, because people use the excuse that, the innocence of children. But for me, what you're doing is you are creating falsehoods and you're lying to children, and then you expect children to be honest, And so when something,
say that again. Say that.
You're lying. You're creating a narrative to where you're lying to children, but you are expecting them to be honest.
You're teaching them to be liars.
Right. But you don't want, you know what I'm saying? So in any case, I just, when they find out that there's no Santa Claus, it's like, what do you mean? Because you said, my mama said, my daddy said, there's a Santa Claus. Yeah.
I want to season lady make a good point, because this is one thing I just talk about a lot, right? People just get mad. But I grew up in a small town in Mississippi where there was 3 community gardens. I watched my grandfather cure meat the right way, right? He made his own bacon and all that kind of stuff. I don't think anyone made butter for us, but yeah, I can relate to that. And I missed it, which kind of had me come full circle back to how it all started. There's that genetic thing, right? So that was my stuff that was handed down. So I went out into the world and started drinking Mountain Dew like crazy, which was in my opinion, was the original energy drink. right, and just start eating terrible. Luckily for me, I kind of bounced back early in my life when I was still a young man and got back into being healthy, got into bodybuilding and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, not a lot of that's going on. Well, actually, I can't say not a lot of that's going on because I see a resurgence back into that. Right, we have black people who are buying land now and living off on the land and that kind of thing. So
even one of our nieces and nephew, like they sold their home with the intent of relocating, finding like a compound. They want to buy something like 10 acres and let the land create the income, and these are I don't even think they're 40 yet, if they're 40.
maybe, yeah.
And so, you have this whole trajectory of people realizing that this is not, the way this society is and the way these foods are and the way this and that is. I want something better for me, and even Sam, you have some clients that, they have land and, they're growing their own thing. I was really, really impressed that, my father-in-law, he has a garden in the back of the house,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my cousins, one of my cousins, when she was married, they lived in the country and her husband had chickens back there. He had, and my first experience of seeing a chicken neck being, just broken or whatever, it was traumatic for me. But back then, you could go to any corner store and get real like chickens, right? That weren't like this big. They were the normal size of a chicken, and so our kids grew up healthier because they were eating, healthier foods. Even me, even though I was a single parent, because of my community, my family, my children were still eating like wholesome meals and stuff like that. Because my family wasn't going to no McDonald's. Oh no, Shad, we about to cook. We about to do this. And a lot of people, I'm really impressed with the people that we know personally that are doing this whole trajectory. Even one of my cousins who owns his own restaurant, in Louisiana, he is very specific about the meats that he buys, like the quality of the meat. You might get chicken, but he is not going to Walmart buying no chicken, honey. He is going to get, making sure that his chicken aren't steroid injected.
Well, one of the things I miss about where we were living in Louisiana is that there's still meat markets.
Yes.
Right? And the two that I like going to, I mean, the guy goes, well, I said, well, where are you sourcing your steaks from? He pointed to the field.
Those
That's
cows
how I
right
heard
there.
over there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's how I heard of cattle over there. I mean, you can't get no fresher than that, right?
Right.
Those are grass-fed beef that they were doing.
Even when we were in Georgia, babe, we started searching for grass-fed animals, and we found this restaurant that we used to really, really love.
That's right.
And they were very, very big on grass-fed beef. And then we started going to these different farmers markets. And this is, guys, how we stopped. This was how our mindset just really, really changed about some of the things that we were putting in our bodies, on our bodies, right? And how we started using, we stopped using Dove soap and started, we have a girl who makes our soaps.
We have we would call her the skincare lady, our skincare lady.
Yeah, because basically that's really what she is, to the point where, other members of my family, they're like hounding, harassing us. Where that soap at? You got some more of that soap? My daughter has eczema, and I have sent her this soap, and she hasn't had a flare up in a good while. My sister called us, Jan, I never put soap in my face. Jan, this soap, I'm washing my face with this soap. This soap is amazing. And I hope, she's a school teacher, but she does, she has this business on the side. I hope that we can talk her into coming on and just talking about her business. We have a lot of people that we know that's just doing, I'm always impressed, at what people are doing. And especially like these young people that are our children's ages, they are like out there doing the thing,
There's some stuff coming in my inbox as usual, and this is one I'll touch on. There's a couple of things I might touch on as well. Yeah, and how do you do that, Sam? Well, I always wanted to create my own, what I call my Black ecosystem. I wanted to start using the products that I normally use. How can I source this from my people who are making it? There's some benefits now to that for me. Like, let's take our skincare lady, right? Well, just by default, I know what that person is trying to do. It's always they're trying to go back to the source, no chemicals, no stuff like that. The seasoning lady, fresh seasonings, source, made to order, pretty much. I guess I probably should have said made to order because now people don't, but it's not sitting on a shelf, waiting for somebody to order, and it's not tons of chemicals to make it taste good, right? So start creating your own Black ecosystem, man. Like for the skincare, there's tons of sisters and brothers with those products. Find the one that has a product that fits you.
I tell you what, that's true, babe, because
Walmart.
I tried it when my daughter, what I started doing, and we have the girl who makes our soap, but I wanted to do the body butters because my daughter was out there in Florida and her eczema had started flaring up again. And so that's when I started researching myself, what kind of things can I make for her that's going to ease this ease this eczema situation, but keep her moisturized. Because people with eczema, that is, you can't you can't do a lot of perfume on your skin. It irritates the skin. And I started creating body butters actually for her. And I was only using maybe 3 or 4 ingredients. And she loved it, which ended up, I started making it for my mom and then other people. But my real business, it was taken over, right? And that the body butter thing was just very time consuming. So I didn't really move a whole lot forward with it. And then of course, in addition to that, we had to come here, and take care of my mom. But we can do it ourselves. Either we figure out what it is, and if we don't want to do it, right? Because when it comes to creating body butters, you need the product and a blender. Your product and a blender.
Okay. Or find your own skincare person.
Or find your own skincare person if you don't want to do that.
I thought they were done.
I thought they were done too. I don't know if y'all hear all this banging.
That is not a woodpecker, by the way.
No, it's not a woodpecker.
There was some work outside on the complex we're in. I thought they were done.
I thought they weren't working on Fridays. So what other comments do you have in your inbox?
I mean, is that on the wall or?
It sounds like it's right outside. It's right outside the window on this side over here.
When I see more than 3 kind of the same comments, it was back on when I dropped in the information. And after this, maybe we'll go ahead and shut this down because my stomach's starting to growl for real.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right here. Someone basically, if I were to paraphrase these 3-4 comments here, they're kind of like, how do we change this? What do you do? I can only speak from, what we're doing and what I'm doing as far as, kind of showing people how the different ways, instead of us just consuming, buying products, but investing, right? That's what I do. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to be careful not to give too much because I'm really not, guys, for 27 years, I've been giving information out, totally just giving it. Not a lot of people follow. So now I'm creating this community where I want people who are going to take action. I'm just being honest. So I'll give a quick overview. Hopefully I won't get too excited and give too much away. But so everyone probably should be familiar with this market, this investable market. You go out and you buy a home for an investment property, right? And of course, you're going to rent that home out, right? So kind of, you might not know, but if you do, great. The process to that is you got to find the property. You got to fund the property. You got to rehab the property. You got to get a tenant. You got to manage the property. You got to change light bulbs. The plumbing go out. That's great. That model's been done. People do it extremely well. But what if you want to access the returns of said market, but don't have the time or the wherewithal, or just don't want to do all that stuff the traditional way? There's a platform that cash flow creators will have access to, that we can access that return without having to do all of that stuff with the push of a button. As a matter of fact, you can monitor your account from your phone. So that's one of many ways, guys. This is one of the ways one of the things that I'm showing people how to do, right? And guess what? Because of technology and financial tech, or fintech as we call it, it's a low minimum of entry for investment. It's $100. That makes it available for everyone to get it. I mean, I don't know if these people are trying to challenge me or what, but the solutions are there.
You just have to know where to find
The
them.
solutions are there. Yeah. They're all around us, right? Tap into these people, tap into cash flow creators when it comes available, tap into other people. I'm not the only one. There's tons of us, people that look like us, that are providing viable ways for us not to be a consumer economy, but less of a consumer economy, but more of an investing, saving, reinvesting into our communities. So there you go.
Right. And you've talked about it numerous times, when it comes to changing your own, trajectory. You have shared with people, the apps that they need to download on their phone to just get small shares of different companies. You've done all of that. And it's at the end of the day, the only thing that I can do is give you the information, right? It's still up to you to move forward. And I think it's kind of ridiculous. I say this often too, that we are so afraid of technology, but everybody has some type of smartphone. You have paid thousands of dollars for this mini computer, and the only thing that you do with it is play games on it.
Words of friends. We got to get better in that area, because going forward, to access a lot of these really good investment platforms, you just got to know some basic how to navigate through your computer and your cell phone. A lot of us are still lagging in that area. How would I know? Because I'm setting up these accounts with people every day. That's how I know. And it takes way too much time to get a lot of people set up because of that lack of comfortability with technology.
Right. And for my business, if I'm on the road and I need to send an invoice out, I'm like, I have an app for that. I have an app. You see these folders?
You got an app for that.
I have an app for it. I can send an invoice to anybody that I need to send an invoice to from my phone. I can create an invoice. I can create a document and send it out, because I'm not afraid to use technology. And the way that you can set these things up is you don't really have to worry about anybody stealing your information if you have your stuff password protected. And that's super easy to do. And you don't give out your information.
Or if they want here, I don't want the government to know what I'm doing. I simply say this. I'll be putting people in check. You have a social security number? They already know.
Government knows. Okay. They already know what you're doing.
Most people don't realize a social security number is not needed other than for tracking purposes. Why do you need a social security number? Why do you have to go to the court system to get a marriage license? That's a tax. It's another tax, or another form of taxation. You don't need a social security number. It's for tracking purposes. You were already being tracked since you were born when you got that social security number. Anyway, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother.
Janet, I think we should go ahead and
shut it down.
Disperse.
Before we do, I just want to tell people out here to be really, really careful, especially women. You have traffickers out there that are really trying to get a hold of people. I was watching a couple of videos. If you come out of wherever you are and you see like a one of those zip ties on the handle of your car, call 911, call the police. because that's an indication that somebody is trying to track you or your child or whatever. I was also watching a video that my daughter sent me yesterday. This couple had, they were enjoying her birthday celebration. They had gone to someplace to eat and have a couple of drinks. Well, when she came back, came back out to the car, somebody had rolled up a napkin and put it in the handle of the passenger side.
What?
And what she said was, that was kind of odd. She didn't really think a whole lot of it. She took it by her fingertips, and she had long nails. She took it by her fingernails and she tossed it. But then she turned around and put her hand in to her car handle and opened the door. Moments later, her hand started tingling, and all of the things started happening to where she found herself in the hospital. And once they did they ran their toxicology tests and all that kind of stuff, they found out that there had been levels of poison that had gotten into her system. And that was just through her hand. Wow. So be cognizant, be careful, always be watching, and just be safe. And if something doesn't feel right, pay attention to your gut.
Yeah, intuition.
Yep.
Okay. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Let's get, man, I am really hungry.
Where's our music at? Cue the music.
Oh, cue the music. Thanks for joining us this Friday. We also will be doing virtual happy hour. I think I need to recreate a link for that. So be on the lookout.
Create a link.
Virtual happy hour link. Thanks again for all the comments, concerns, and whatnots. We appreciate y'all. And please, if there's a small business owner you guys know that we can have on, and more importantly, if it's food, let me know so I can try their products.
Yeah, we're always looking to have somebody come and share this platform with us. Happy birthday, Rashad. Continue enjoying your birthday. Happy birthday, Chickawicka. Continue to enjoy. And we will see y'all this evening.
Well, if they join virtual happy hour. If not, we'll see you Monday.
Rashad he already got his food on deck.
Well, this Friday. Well, we're having lamb today, though. Anyway.
All right, then. So, ciao for now.